Please subscribe to Panta Kalhor Transition channel and order my book Rules of Change for the Better. Tune up your mood and transform your life to reach your biggest dreams. Hello everyone. Today we are recording and this is not live. But finally I could find Demi Theo. She's children's author, children books author, and her book name is The Magical ChickAdee Friends. And she's not only an author, she also in fashion, and she's also doing some craft. If you see her background, this is real. She's a real artist. I'm very happy to have you, Demi, here.
I'm very pleased. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, Demi, tell me about yourself. That's your first book, right?
This is my very first book. I'm very excited. About myself, I've been in the art industry for a while. I'm basically an interior designer. Then I went into, doing some modeling, some architectural work, designing some interiors for Keyman stores, actually, in West Edmonton Mall, in Lime Ridge Mall. I was working for a construction company. I was in banking. I did a lot of things with my life. Eventually, in 2012, what I did was I was accidentally found by the owner of a company called Relax, which was a health and wellness company for whom I was the brand ambassador for their products. And one of the products was the Pro Siatu cordless neck and back massager with heat, which I was actually on the box of their product just 2 summers ago, as recently as 2 summers ago, when I was at the CNE, which was the last time that it was open before COVID times. And every summer I used to go to the CNE, I used to represent the brand, et cetera, et cetera. I became a TKFW, which is Toronto Kids Fashion Week co-organizer when the show first, since its inception, since season 1 actually, and work very closely with the organizer. And this show is about empowering kid models ages 3 to 13. Which I'm currently still doing. We're gonna do our season 5, hopefully when, the lockdown opens up. We'll do the auditions and the filming of it, and it's gonna be a super exciting show because as co-organizer, I put a lot of, designers into it, and kids, and a lot of other things I do. So basically, I'm also the DIY columnist for Biz Fashion Magazine, and I've been doing this for over a year now. I come up with fashion-related crafts, and I write up, a cute little column. So once a month, you'll see me in Biz Fashion Magazine. And as a matter of fact, Susie Tamasi, the publisher, was telling me, she said, why don't you, you do so many nice crafts, you should do something of your own, right? So that was one thing I was inspired from, because she's quite an inspirational person to me. She empowers a lot of people, and I'm one of them. So because of the lockdown, I came up with doing my own YouTube channel, which is called Demi Story Craft Time. Because I had worked originally with a person called Cesar Casillas Flores, and he's a singer and he writes his own songs, singer-songwriter in Mexico. Last year in May, I did a video called Baby. So I modeled and I acted in the video. And I'm working with him, and he actually produces and edits my YouTube videos. So my first YouTube video was a story which I did. I narrated a story called Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, everybody's all-time favorite story. And all the crafts were all handmade by me, most of them. And I wanted to do something, a story, which, because, you know, the libraries are closed, you know, since then because of COVID, the kids don't have any resources. There's nowhere, you know, to go and borrow books from. And it's something for the kids to, you know, be occupied with. But I added something else in the story. It's not just a regular story. At the end of the story, there's a DIY craft so that the kids can, you know, do something. So I'm taking an aspect, like a part of the story, and focusing on one detail, and they make a craft, you know, on their own, with their friends, with their, you know, brothers, sisters, their parents. So that's basically my Demi Story and Craft Time. So after I've done that, I just thought to myself, and you know, and it's doing very well, because with this channel, I introduced it in end of December 2020, so around Christmas time. So I decided, you know, let's take this one step further. Why not, you know, write my own stories, something of my own, because I am, you know, I'm pretty good in writing. I took a graduate course at York University, and I actually have written articles, not just a DIY page in Business and Fashion, Biz and Fashion Magazine, but I've written some articles as well. One of them being a biography, a biographical, like a focus article, a feature article on Cesar Casillas Flores, who's called, his stage name is Akrina from Bar Ocho Band. And I also wrote for Isabella magazine. I wrote a beautiful article, and recently was put in, it wasn't just an article, it was published, I think, in March of this year. But recently it was actually featured in their digital magazine. I wrote an article about a very wonderful makeup artist who's not just a makeup artist, but also a visual arts like artist. Her name is Steffi T, and I named my article World Meet Miss Steffi T, and it was a successful article. I also wrote, previous to that, articles for Spencer magazine, and basically, I was writing articles about events that were happening in Toronto. That's what I was focusing on. And I was actually modeling on the runway for some shows, one of them being Agape Greek Radio Show, which was their very first show. And I wrote about that, actually, which was printed. Then I wrote about another event, which was I Scream. It was a movie based, you know, it was filmed, the director was Jaya Jagarantham. So I wrote an article about that. It was called I Scream, and it was the release of the DVD video, which I also was modeling there, and I was dressed up in a sari with some other women, which was like it was also like an event for empowered women. And the third article I wrote was about a beautiful production. It was a theatrical production. Again, I was involved in this, My Mulan, which happened at the Chinese Cultural Center. I was involved with the promotion of that particular event, and I wrote about it as well. And it was quite a beautiful event. It was a Disney's, it became a Disney film later, but before that, it was a theatrical event, which turned out pretty good. So I thought, why not do my own writing, my own stories? And I always dreamed of writing my own stories. As a matter of fact, a few years back, when my first daughter, my older daughter, was about 3 years old or so, this is the time when I wrote the Magical ChickAdee. And you know, I thought, but I didn't have the resources back then. I didn't know. I had no idea how to get it published, right? I didn't know. I just left it in a drawer, and as busy as I was, I just forgot about it. So recently I said to myself, you know what, let's, you know, start off with this, because it's a meaningful story, because I based, you know, the characters on my daughter and my parents, actually. And anyway, so I found it, I edited the story, and it became the Magical ChickAdee. So I have a very, very good editor, and her name is Tracy McLean Lowe, and she encouraged me a lot. She encouraged me about writing some more stories so that they could all get published as one, children's book. So I went on and I wrote other stories, such as the Furpendurps, which my younger daughter gave me the idea for that one. She's very, her imagination is great. It's about a few little creatures that, live under the earth, the land of Furpendad. The leader is Furp. He's an eccentric fashion designer that designs these outfits for them using misha leaves. I created all the characters, using my craft. So every single story, for example, in the Valentine Bears story, the Valentine Bears, their home is made out of a shower caddy. I just take for my crafts basically a lot of materials I use, which can be reused and recycled. And
Demi, sorry I interrupt you.
Yes.
Can I see some of these handcrafts?
Of course. So I have them here behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring you some very close. I'm gonna give you an example. This is
so cute.
So this is Fiona. Okay, actually all the Furpendurps, their names start with F, And this is basically, I made this little creature. All their faces are made out of poured liquid acrylic pour, actually. And I'm using, scraps of material, and, I'm being very resourceful, let's say. And I don't, I always use, materials that can be reused or recycled. Mm-hmm. So that's Fiona here, and I'm gonna walk up and I'll give you some more.
Yeah, the house. I'm gonna see the house.
You wanna see?
Yeah.
This house actually is a model. This one of the Furpendurps. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna bring the other house of the bears actually very close. This one here. So what I did,
I love it.
Yeah. So basically, this is made out of a shower caddy. And if you see really close, I was actually inspired by, by doll houses and miniature houses. And I took a basic, iron shower caddy that you put shampoos and, etc. on. And I painted it. I got some materials, for the floor, and a few paints from the dollar store, and I came up with this. And that's the story. And actually, that's going to be one of my YouTube videos coming up very soon.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So that's one of them right there. Okay, let me just put it up here on my display. This is the Furpendurps. This is called the Furpendurps Vacation. Okay, that's the sequel to the Valentine Bears Vacation. It's the sequel to the Valentine Bears, where they go in this beautiful island called Cheerful Island, and they meet Princess Gem, which is right here. This is the Princess Gem. Now, all of these are made out of actually the walkway is made out of semi-precious stones here. I made this out of rolled newspaper, the log cabin out of rolled newspaper and popsicle sticks. So that's what I did with this one. And if you look inside, you can actually see a little crib, and you can see inside as well. So that's this model here. Wow. And
amazing.
Thank you.
You are a real artist. I love it.
I have fun making these. This one here is this is Mrs. Fuzzy Jazzy.
So how did you make it? How did you make it?
It's out of a jar, and I poured liquid pour on it, and I made her fancy hat because she is known to wear all these fancy hats, and fancy designer bags. This is actually made out of leather, believe it or not. It's little scraps of leather. She's wearing her earrings. So she's the main character of Mrs. Fuzzy Jazzy and the case of the missing designer bag. And another character is Mrs. Pig Fabulous, which is right here.
Oh, wow.
This is Mrs. Pig Fabulous. She's wearing a fancy hat herself. And she's, her, her best friend.
My daughter should love it.
Having a lot of fun with all these characters,
Yeah.
And here's another house. This is Mrs. Fuzzy Jazzy's house. That was custom made, custom built.
Oh, I love it. It's so
cute. This is all out of like plastic mesh and wool that I made. And stones again, semi-precious stones all around. There's the Mr. Frog spectacles looking up here. Some of my characters, Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with these, and I love them. Especially times like this when you sit at home and you're in lockdown.
That's the best thing to do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's basically my fun characters, and I'm going to be making more. Actually, there's more stories that are coming, so I'm excited about that. So my editor told me, write some stories, some more, and we'll put it into a book, and put all the stories together. So in this particular book, I have like 5 stories in here. It's roughly about 50 pages. And after each story, there is a DIY craft. And I explain to you, I explain in steps how to make, like a craft.
Oh, beautiful.
After each story. So so it's not that, and the one with the Furpenderps, I also put like a lot of information about the parts of a house. So there's the Furpenderp story here.
I see.
So the kids can learn about the construction parts of the house and how it's made. So basically, that's. And here they're making one of the Furpenderps, how I made it, how I did one of the characters.
What you did exactly is you brought your thinking on the paper.
I did.
It's not only on the paper. You just created characters yourself, and then you had a story for them. So,
yes.
I have a question. Did you have a story before creating the characters, or after you create after creating the character?
Both, because sometimes I have like the model or the character, and then I work around and I make a story about that particular character, right? Because it inspires me. Because actually, when I was young, I was a pretty good writer in school. So one of the things that my teachers told me was that I'm very good with writing. Like even if I saw, like I was presented with a picture, right? Like and just to write a page about that, and they were telling me, oh, you would be really good in writing like ads or making up, like, because I can make them up like really, really easy, and like a lot of ideas come in my head, and sometimes it could be from nature, or, stuff that I'm fascinated with, like sometimes, people don't see a lot of detail. Like we take life for granted, but like, I like to see, like, sometimes I go and I photograph, for example, I that's one of my interests, photography and hiking. So sometimes I go and I photograph things, and sometimes I see details that other people don't see the details. Like I see the beauty in a certain thing, that could be left on the street that could look valuable to me, but some people tend to throw it away. So I'm like that, I guess.
That means you actually use whatever everybody thinks that is wasted.
Yes.
Take it and you give life to them.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty of your job, and you have a creative mind, and that's amazing. I can't really wait to see more books from you and see you, yeah, more
So
successful.
much, Antia. That's a great compliment coming from you. You are such a great author, and you're published, and you're all over the place, and your book is #1. So thank you for that
Thank
nice
you so much.
compliment.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, do you have any we have 3 minutes left. If you have
Yes.
any recommendation for whoever wants to start their book?
I highly recommend. Sometimes people procrastinate and they say, oh, what if this doesn't go well? Or, oh, well, I'll wait for it for tomorrow. I highly recommend, if you have an idea, first of all, write it down on paper. Sometimes I write like a million notes to myself, okay, about my planning, what to do. So that's the first thing I advise, to take a lot of notes and plan, you know, and you know, have a synopsis of what you're gonna do, and just go on and do what you do, and you know, make your dream come true. That's my best advice to everybody.
Beautiful advice, and I really enjoyed what you did. That's the first time I've seen somebody with actual handcrafting business as well. Like
Thank
what
you.
you do, I really admire what you're doing.
I
I love artists.
I wanted to be original. I didn't want this book to have just regular illustrations. Wanted to let you know I'm wearing something that I made, and this was featured in Biz Fashion Magazine last August in the
Oh,
magazine.
you did it yourself?
I made this, and I'm gonna stand up because this is a shirt with all the Disney characters.
Oh, I like it. Wow.
And in the back, I have more in the back. I don't know if you can see. Can you see it?
Yes.
So I actually, this was featured in Biz and Fashion Magazine. So it's stuff like I'm always doing a lot of different, you know, crafts and handicrafts. I actually drew these myself. I did them with pen, and then I sewed, like I did the embroidery like on top.
Yeah, I see. I love it. I love that.
Kid.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for being here. And hopefully I see you with more books, more inspiration, more handcraft. And I also watch your YouTube channel. I love your storytelling, the way you're doing and creating the giving life to your characters that you made from the waste, right?
Thank you.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and look out for me on my Instagram at Demi Theo, and also more YouTube stories are coming up.
Yes, thank you so much. I will put the link there, and everybody can watch it.
Thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.